Hello everybody. Shall we listen to a nice folk tale today? Hope you can enjoy this and learn some English as well. Basically, I think you have some idea about what a folk tale means. So in case you don't, let me tell you something about folk tales really quickly. Folk tales, the characters of folk tales, and the message that the folk tales generally try to get across as a society. So people, simply put it, folk tales mean the stories that come down from generation to generation, particularly from word of mouth. Actually, in the past, folk tales they were not written down there, so that's why we don't know the names of the writers of folk tales. Folk tales they were made and modified by the communities themselves. Then they passed them down. So that's how folk tales exist in the world. Actually, folk tales they use very different characters like kings, queens, poor children, animals that act and speak like humans, and fairies, demons, gods, giants. As I said, very different characters. So, using all these characters, folk tales try to teach us some moral lessons that could possibly boost our qualities within us, the qualities that we are supposed to uphold as humans, like kindness, generosity, honesty, etc. So, considering all these facts, to me, folk tales they try to plant some sort of seeds of virtues within us in order to uplift our humanity. So that's how I interpret folk tales. Hope you can remember the stories that you were told by your grandparents when you were a kid, by your grandparents or some of your teachers as well. The stories that you really long to listen to, that you urged them to tell you. So most of those stories they were folk tales. Actually, folk tales are there in every society. I can remember some of English folk tales like Little Red Riding Hood, Three Little Pigs. I can remember one, and Jack and the Beanstalk. So there are many. Even in Sinhala, there are many folk tales. Like there are very well-known folk tales. Mahadanutta and his pupils, especially Andhare. So there are many. So even today, I'm going to tell you one of those Sinhala folk tales, Kaluhami. So without any further ado, let's get started. Once upon a time, there lived a Gamarala. So people, we all know that Gamarala was more of a position than just the name of a person in the past. He was called the village headman, so he had some power over the village. Nowadays, we call him Grama Niladari instead of Gamarala. Even Grama Niladari has some power. He exercises the power of the president in the village, right? So Gamarala, his wife Gamhamine, and their one and only loving daughter Kaluhami. So they were a happy family. Both parents, they loved their child dearly. They were very attached to her, they cling on to her because she was the only child they had. Anyhow, the saddest thing was, their daughter Kaluhami, she died at an early age in her life, leaving her parents quite disappointed, sad and heartbroken. Even we can imagine the situation, right? There are some parents, they have only one child, so everything that they do, everything that they collect is for that child. Their all hopes are on that child, they depend on that child. Then all of a sudden that child dies, even before parents die, when parents are alive. So then without that child, the rest of their life is going to be quite hopeless, right? It's going to be quite passive. That parents, they would just live the rest of their life just for the sake of living. So the same set of emotions were there within Gamarala and Gamahamini. They both were overwhelmed by grief. Kaluhami, she was always thinking about her daughter. If my daughter were with us, she would become the prettiest bride in the village. How beautiful she would be. So like that. Then, not long after that event, there came a cunning beggar to their house. While Gamarala was out in the field, only Kaluhami was there at home. So that time, that beggar, he came their home. So, he was so cunning and he was so lean. Kaluhami, as soon as she saw that beggar, she took pity on him. Then she asked him a question like, why are you so lean? What happened to you? Then that beggar, he replied, Kaluhami, I have returned here from the other world. Ane Kaluhami, mammi, elowa gihin melowa avi. Then what he meant there was, he said that he was quite ill for a while, then he was just about to die. Fortunately, he could escape the death. That's what he meant there. But Kaluhami, she took it mistakenly. Then she thought that, okay, this person in front of me has really been to the other world and come back. So that's how she thought. Then she thought that even her daughter Kaluhami died recently and she went to the other world. So this person must have seen my daughter. So then she asked him, okay, if you've been to the other world, didn't you see my daughter Kaluhami by any chance? Then that beggar, he thought, that sounds quite silly. I think this woman is such a silly woman, so I can cheat on this woman. Then he replied, now he is going to use the opportunity. He replied, yes, of course, why not? I know your daughter Kaluhami because I am the one who married her. Now we are together. Then that Kaluhami, she was like happier because now the person in front of her is not anybody else, is her son-in-law. Then she asked him more and more about her daughter, and eventually she collected all the jewelry at home and handed it over to the beggar, asking him to take that jewelry to their daughter Kaluhami as a dowry. So then the beggar, he grabbed all that jewelry and he hastened away as fast as he could. Meanwhile, Gamarala, he came around. Then he noticed that his wife Kaluhami is unusually happy. Then he asked, why do you look so happy today? What happened? Then Kaluhami told him the whole story. A beggar came our home and he told me that he came from the other world. Then he told me that he is married to my daughter as well. He knows about my daughter. So then I collected all the jewelry at home and handed it over to the beggar to be taken to my daughter Kaluhami. I was so lucky. Then that Gamarala, he realized everything what happened, what has happened there. Then that time he flew into a rage and asked that Kaluhami, where did that cunning beggar live? Where did he go? In which direction? Then she said, there he went. She showed him the direction. Then Gamarala, he mounted his horse and he rode it off. Now he is chasing that beggar. Then the beggar, he spotted the Gamarala in the distance. So then he stopped at a nearby tree and climbed up the tree. So did the Gamarala. He also went up the tree, stopped the horse and tied the horse to the tree. Then he also climbed up to catch the cunning beggar there. So that time the beggar was more cunning than the Gamarala. He got down the tree, mounted the horse, untied the horse, mounted the horse, then he rode it off. So that time, Gamarala, the poor Gamarala, he was in the tree and he found that there was nothing he could do. Then he suddenly made up his mind and he shouted at the cunning beggar. Then he said, "My dear son-in-law." Now see that, people? Cunning beggar has turned into his son-in-law. He has made up his mind as such. Then he said, "My son-in-law, let my daughter know that jewelry is from her mother and the horse is from her father." So that's the story. What do you think about it? Let me ask you one question. The question is, who is the most resilient character out of these three characters there? Resilient means the ability to be happy, successful, even after we face some difficulties in our life. Right? I think there is no argument. It's Gamarad. So that time, he had lost everything he had collected in his life. He had lost his daughter, his jewelry, and his horse, and also he had the silliest woman in the world at his home as his wife. Even then, he could make up his mind suddenly, instantly. So, that Gamarala, he was the most resilient character. He is the most resilient character among those characters there. So, what do you think? Isn't it good to be as resilient as Gamarala in your life? Think about it. Thank you very much. Let's meet again.